Today's Lesson 1, The Introduction to Europe. Have you ever wanted to visit castles of kings and queens from long ago? How about climb the mountains where the Von Trapp family sang and Heidi played with the goats? Have you ever wondered what it would be like to run with a pack of racing bulls? How about visit some of the ancient ruins of Greece and Rome? Have you ever wanted to waltz down the Danube? Each of these intriguing experiences can only be found on the continent of Europe. Some quick facts about Europe are the population is 747 million people, and its size is 3.93 million miles. Europe is one of the smallest continents in the world, but the diversity of language and culture is truly a unique and rich experience. This month, we're going to go on an adventure together, backpacking through Europe. We will encounter the birthplaces of Western civilization, discover ancient roads and modern conveniences, and visit familiar sights and rare wonders. Let's go. Backpacking is a common form of low-budget traveling. You may have seen people on the side of a highway carrying a pack loaded with gear, walking to their next destination. Instead of taking a giant suitcase with them, these travelers pack light and carry their clothes and necessities from town to town. Depending on the area that the traveler chooses to explore, sometimes they even take a tent or plan to sleep under the stars. While most backpackers in North America are looking for an outdoor adventures, backpackers in Europe are more commonly seen traveling from city to city on trains and staying in hostels while they take in the sights. Because many European countries are small, the backpacker can experience a wide variety of cultures and countries in a short period of time. Our extension activity is something you could do. Get out your biggest backpack and try to fit enough clothes for a week along with a towel, soap, shampoo, hairbrush, and toothbrush. Now, imagine going on a vacation and taking only those clothes with you for an entire month, carrying them on your back. Would you like a vacation like that? It would be a different adventure, wouldn't it? If you are feeling particularly adventurous and the weather allows, your family could plan an overnight backpacking trip where you hike somewhere and camp for the night. Or challenge your family to a backpacking overnight trip in your city. Remember, you can only take what fits in your backpacks. No suitcases. Food. European food is second to none. From internationally famed restaurants and culinary schools to cottages in the mountains with fresh ingredients straight from nature. Europe has world-famous foods that we will get a glimpse of as we travel through its amazing continent. We will encounter flavors such as sauerkraut and sausage, thick cheeses and dents, homemade bread, and hearty haggis, and delicate croissants, amazing chocolate, and rich pastries all find their origins on the European continent. Is your mouth watering yet? So many of the delicious treats we enjoy in our Western culture comes from Europe. Famous landmark. Vatican City State is the smallest city-state in the world. Where would you find such a country? In the middle of Rome, that's where. Not only is it the smallest country in the world, but it is the only country that fits inside a city. Vatican City is comprised of 44 hectares, which is 110 acres, and has a population of about 800 people. It is a city that is ruled in its entirety by the Holy See, the title given to the Pope's official power to make legal decisions and judgments. This city-state is both ruled by and home to the Pope, who is the Bishop of Rome and head of the Roman Catholic Church, as well as many other Catholic clergy who hold high positions of government within the Catholic Church. Although the function of the Holy See dates back to early Christianity, the independent Vatican City state was officially formed in 1929. Within this tiny city-state are such famous places as St. Peter's Basilica, the Sistine Chapel, and the Vatican Museums. These destinations feature some of the world's most famous artwork, with paintings and sculptures by many of the most famous Renaissance artists. This small country's economy is, to a large degree, uniquely supported by the sale of souvenirs, postage stamps, and admission to the historic sites and museums. Transportation. Europe is well known for its train system and for the cheap flights within the continent. As backpackers through Europe, we will spend substantial time on the train system, traveling from the country to country, seeing many sights during the day and passing by many more at night. Urnrail is a train system that has over 40,000 destinations in 31 countries and sells passes so that you can enjoy unlimited train travel. This economical way to travel is one of the most popular modes of transportation in Europe. Flights within the continent are also well known to be inexpensive and accessible. This makes Europe one of the easiest continents to get around quickly and efficiently. Want to know more about travel in Europe? Look up the cost of a Eurail pass. How many would your family need, and what would it cost to travel through Europe for a month? Would you rather just purchase tickets from one location to the next? Why or why not? And maybe you'd rather travel by airplane. Discuss all these possibilities with your family. Countries. Europe has 44 countries within her borders. This number does not include any transcontinental countries except Russia. These countries can be divided into 4 regions: Eastern, Western, Northern, and Southern. The countries that lie in Eastern Europe are sometimes argued over, but it is generally agreed that there are 10 Eastern European countries. Some of the most well-known include Russia, Ukraine, Poland, and Romania. Western Europe contains 9 countries. The most well-known of these probably being France, Germany, the Netherlands, and Switzerland. Northern Europe is not surprisingly colder than the rest of Europe. It consists of 10 countries, such as Norway, Iceland, Ireland, and the United Kingdom. Southern Europe is often characterized by warmer climate and abundant history. It contains the largest number of countries, 15, and is where we find Greece, Italy, and Spain. Some of the countries in Europe are transcontinental, meaning that their borders fall within more than one continent. Russia is one of these transcontinental countries and the largest country in the world. While the majority of its land is on the Asian continent, the majority of its people live on the European continent. Russia is often the only transcontinental country listed as being European, based largely on the larger population on the European side, although it is the largest and the only one we will study this month. It is good to note that it is not the only transcontinental country shared between Europe and Asia. Want to know more about transcontinental countries? Russia has 2 cities that straddle the border between Europe and Asia. Can you find them on a globe or in a Google search? Turkey is another transcontinental country shared with Europe. Can you find that city that straddles both Europe and Asia? Are these countries usually labeled as part of Europe or as part of Asia? Why? Feel free to follow a rabbit trail of learning as you research some of these transcontinental countries. And this concludes the introduction to our new series on Europe.